You can tell on my face that I'm tired. We have reached the end of draft day, or pretty much the end. Right now, we're like at pick 212. And yeah, I don't really care about who gets picked in this last five. And because, there might still be some things that happen post draft, I'm not going to make the draft recap video until a little later. So right now what you're getting is a pre-recorded set to go up the day after I'm filming it. Being filmed on the Wednesday, it's going to go up tomorrow. This is my deep dive, or as good of a deep dive as I can give you on these 6 new prospects entering in to the Edmonton Oilers system. Now, the first thing I want to say is this. I am a major criticizer of Ken Holland because, I think my last Oilers specific video where I talked about Andreas Athanasiou, that should sum it up. I think that he's made some questionable moves. That being said, I can't deny, I look at who he's picked in this draft. I look at some of the things, some of the numbers that we have on paper. I'm really liking what he's done here. So we're going to start off with their first round pick from yesterday at number 14, left winger, mainly. I'm going to call him forward because he can play any of the positions from what I'm hearing. Dylan Holloway. He is a 6'1", 203-pound forward. He's a hardworking two-way type guy. By the way, for some of these I have some sources. This source I have on Dylan Holloway is mainly from a YouTube channel by the name of Scouching. I found their videos, and they made a prospect deep dive video onto Dylan Holloway a few months ago. I watched it, I took some notes from it, and I also took some other things I've heard about Dylan Holloway, some things I knew about him. Last year, he, in 35 NCAA games, had 8 goals, 9 assists for 17 points, and that does seem low. In fact, that does seem questionable for a guy who is being picked in the first round. What we do need to point out, however, is that I'm pretty sure the reason he wasn't the best offensively was because that team ended up going 14 wins, 20 losses, and 2 draws, which is not that good, believe it or not. It's not really that good of a record. But in those games, Dylan Holloway did not look half bad. Like I said, he was a bit of a two-way forward, kind of a bit of a grindy type guy, getting up in the corners, winning puck battles. He's sometimes a little bit too cautious offensively. He's fairly good with transitional play. He's a bit of a conservative passer, but he will take risk. His shot selection is interesting. It also doesn't seem like the playbook for him of what he can do is all there right now. That being said, a lot of Dylan Holloway's issues that you can say are his flaws, they can really be fixed when it comes to coaching, I think. There's an argument that maybe the things that he was doing, his tendencies were influenced heavily by his coach, who I have no idea who it is, but that's something going around. And, even if that's not it, once you bring him into the organization, I think you can maybe do something with him and probably help him out. Dylan Holloway is also very, very necessary for a team that needs guys on the left side, left wing offensively. He can come in maybe 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 years and offer that to the Edmonton Oilers. And here's the thing I really like about what Edmonton did, is that they know that this need of wingers and actual depth forwards, increasing that depth within the organization, they know that free agency won't always be the answer like a team that did. In fact, I am going to compare this drafting for the Oilers compared to the Leafs drafting, who had a lot more picks, and I am obviously not the biggest fan of the Leafs. However, they took not a lot of what they needed for the future, and the argument was, well, you can just address that now. We need to address that now. Well, the only way to address it cheap is by going a little bit veteran. Okay, what happens when those veterans retire, move on, or are not good enough? Who's going to be next? Are we just going to keep going for the cycling process? It would be nice to maybe have some young, cheap, effective depth in there, and that's what I like Ken Holland, what he's done here. That pick, I obviously loved it. It pretty much just for his work, I think it may just be confidence for what he needs to work on. He does have very good hockey IQ from what I've seen, and his skills, his actual skill with the puck, does not seem horrible, even though there are inconsistencies. I think that this can all be fixed with coaching. I think Dylan Holloway is a very good pick. And then we move on to the other picks that they have. They did not have a pick in the second or third round, and that's because they made a deal. And a deal that now looks really, really good on the offset. That deal was with the San Jose Sharks, where they traded out pick 76, which they decided to keep, meaning their 2021 third-round pick is going to Calgary, also meaning they're not going to have a second or third next year, but I think that will be addressed over time. I just have a feeling there will be a trade or two that take place for draft capital, in exchange for picks 100 and pick 126. The San Jose Sharks, I don't remember who they picked, but I do remember it. I saw a tweet that the players that Edmonton got at 100 and 126, who I really like these two players, by the way, have the same NHL predictability as the guy that the Sharks got in the third. So this was a really good trade. You get two for the price of one, and you're not giving up a lot of talent. And the other thing I found crazy is that both players, the player that they got at 100 and at 126, they were both projected, when you do the averages, to be second or third round picks, and they were got in the fourth and fifth round respectively. That is very good drafting by Ken Holland, capitalizing on these guys falling and also addressing a need, because at pick 100, he selected Carter Savoy, the older brother of Matt Savoy, a 2022 second to third overall pick projected player who's I think he's in the Winnipeg Ice in the WHL, his older brother. Now, when you look at Carter Savoy, it's simple. He's 5'9", probably needs to get a little bit more physical. That being said, ignore physical categories, ignore the height. This man, in 54 games in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, take that for what you will, the league, but in those 54 games, he scored 53 goals. This right here is a perfect fourth-round pick, and let me tell you why. This is a guy who, if you can bring those pieces, those elements of his game, those hands, that shot, if you can help him work on his skating, if he can develop that, this is the type of player that would be perfect in some form of role on the Edmonton Oilers. Like, this is a really good pick. I'm really excited for this guy. I think he could do something incredible with this team. A pure winger, and he was projected to go second or third round. As a matter of fact, one of the boards, I can't remember which, but I remember on Elite Prospects, it said number 30, like, on one board. This guy was a guy who was like, wow, where's he going to go? It was the same thing with his teammate out in Sherwood Park, Michael Benning, who actually went 5 picks before him to the Florida Panthers. But I really like this pick by Edmonton, and it continues with another good pick. Oshawa Generals forward Tyler Tullio. Now, something I am going to point out here, again, this is another guy who was a second or third round projection, and another guy who on one of the boards was a first round or at least early second round talent. This guy, in all honesty, looks really good. Again, he's another smaller end guy, but my God, at 5'11", 165, over a point per game in the OHL, a nice little solid all-around player who puts in defensive effort. My God, imagine someone having defensive effort on the Edmonton team when they went up against Chicago. Defensive effort would have been key, right? This is the type of guy who could help win a series, in my opinion. And another thing about him is that he actually knows that Cassian. There was a tweet that went out that said Cassian tweeted a message to him privately and congratulated him on being drafted to the Edmonton Oilers. And that they've been working out together and they know each other. So that's pretty cool. But man, I'm really happy about this Tyler Tullio pick. These are two very good picks. So far, the first 3 picks by the Oilers have been incredible. Absolutely incredible picks. And it doesn't stop with this next guy, Maxim Burskin. I'm not good with Russian names that I've never seen before. He played in the MHL last year. He's a 6'4", 216-pounder. He's right-handed, mainly a winger, and he was projected to go anywhere in between the 4th and the 6th round. So the fact that they got him in the 5th round is fairly good. That's a good thing. Pretty much 51 games, 25 goals, and 29 points, meaning 54 points in 51 MHL games. I really like this pick. I really do like this pick. You know, when we're talking about his strengths, I took 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses from him. His strengths: Hands, IQ, and creativity. Weaknesses, skating, defense, and the use of size. Now, those 3 weaknesses are alarming. The fact that he's not the best skater, defense, and use of size. That being said, you can coach him into these 3 things. You can help him develop his skating. You can maybe help him develop that defense a little bit, but that's obviously going to be not that easy. And you can also help him kind of get over that hump and help him learn how to use his size to his advantage, him being the bigger body that he has. So, all in all, I mean, that right there could be a guy to look forward to. I've seen bottom 6 roll. If he could be a 4th liner for this team in the 5th round, that would not be too shabby. That would be a nice little piece. Imagine just having like that big power forward guy who only wants about $1 million, $1.5 million per year, and can just be a bottom 6 presence. That would be incredible for this team. Then you get to their most questionable pick, in my opinion. Now, these last 2 guys, I could not find anything on them, and this guy especially, Philippe Angaras. He is in the NCAA right now, formerly in Sweden, a right-handed center, 6 foot 190, 25 games, 8 goals, 7 assists, and 15 assists. I can't find a scouting report on this guy. I can't find a single scouting report about him on the internet as of right now. I mean, this is a Ken Holland picking a Swedish player, like an overager. So maybe, but here's the thing: he's not just an overager. His draft year wasn't just 2019. His draft year wasn't just 2018. This man was eligible to be picked in 2017. I don't even know if he's supposed to be getting drafted. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he is in the stage where you could have signed him. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that actually he's currently in the NCAA, so maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, interesting pick by Ken Holland. We'll see where this ends up being. And then the final pick of the draft, at pick 200, Jeremiah Lindewall. I think that's how you say it. A left winger, 6'2", 183 in 39 games, put up 11 goals, 17 assists for 28 points in the Super Elite League, the J20 Super Elite League. Again, couldn't really find a scouting report on him. But what I am going to say is this: for that 6th and 7th round pick, these are the type of guys where they can just, like, it's probably not going to be the biggest pan out, but they're guys that you can have in the system. So 6 picks for the Oilers in this draft. All in all, what do I think? Well, I look at the 6 picks they made, and I like it. I really do. Let's scratch out Angaras and let's scratch out Lindewall, because we don't even need them to be a part of this conversation. That top 4 picks that we had of Dylan Holloway, Carter Savoy, Tyler Tullio, and then Maxim Burskin, like, that is a very good crop of players to bring into the organization. Like, those are a few good prospects. I'm really happy with who the Edmonton Oilers have decided to bring in tonight, because, you know, I honestly believe they were missing some wing depth. They've added that wing depth. And they've added guys who it might take time but could become options long term. I would love to see Carter Savoy, Tyler Tullio, and Burskin all pan out on an NHL level. I would love to see them. These, again, they're prospects to add to the system. That's the most important thing. And I think Edmonton, you know, for the circumstances they had, they smashed it out the park. Is there some players I kind of wish they might have been able to get their hands on? Yeah. But, you know, you live and you learn. It's also interesting to see they did not take a goalie and they did not take a defender in this draft. Now, what I will say is this, right? If I said that they didn't need to take a defender with their first pick in the draft, the 14th overall pick. I thought they might take one defender. And honestly, I don't think anybody would have really worried if maybe with your 6th round pick, instead of Philippe Angaras, you took a defender. And that's the thing I think we need to remember here. I think Ken Holland, Philippe Angaras, I don't know what it is about him. I don't think it's going to be a good pick. Philippe Angaras, sorry. I don't think it's going to be a good pick. But there's just something about it that feels off. There's just something about this pick that feels like Ken Holland knows something no one else knows, and that he just made an incredible decision. There's just something weird, that feeling, I don't know what it is. I just feel like if you're going to take a 3-year overager in the 6th round, you have to know something a little bit differently, knowing that there's also still some fairly good options left on the board. I feel like there's something up his sleeve. I don't know exactly what it is. Don't quote me, but something feels interesting about this pick. That being said, that was the Oilers draft picks deep dive. What did you guys think? Did you guys agree with my analysis on some of these guys? Do you think about Lindewall and Angaras there's something else there that I don't know about? Please let me know down in the comments. Yeah, all in all, if you were to ask me to rate this draft out of 10 with the circumstances, honestly, just rating the picks that they made, I give them an 8 out of 10. I mean, when you look at the value, they got a guy who's supposed to go in the 2nd or 3rd round in the 4th, 2nd or 3rd round in the 5th. They got a guy who's supposed to go in the 4th to 6th round in the 5th. Not bad draft value, top 20 player, and Holloway goes in the top 20. I projected him to go 12, so this for me is a bit of a fall right to me moment. I really like the picks that they made. Let me know what you guys think down below. There will be most likely one more video tonight talking about some of the things that have happened throughout the day. I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you later today. Make sure you go check out the video I posted yesterday on what the every other team did in the draft, and I will see you soon. Goodbye for now.